Master your serve in 5 steps. Step number 1 is a 2-step process. The first thing that we're going to talk about is using the chopper grip. The chopper grip is the grip that nearly every single professional player, male and female, use on their serve. The reason they use this grip is because this grip allows them to hit a powerful serve, so a flat kind of serve, but they can also hit a slice serve with this grip, and they can also hit a kick serve with this grip, all with the same grip. Now let's say you're using a forehand grip at the moment. You have to realize that when you hit the serve with a forehand grip, your strings are basically all the time facing forwards like this. There's no pronation, there's no supination. Pronation is this action when you hit the serve. As you make contact with the ball, with the chopper grip, you're hitting the ball and the racket is turning outwards like this. And supination is the action before pronation happens. So pronation is this, supination is the other way, backwards. So pronation only happens after supination if you're using a chopper grip. You cannot do it, if I'm holding the racket with a forehand grip, I cannot do this action properly. So let's say you're using a forehand grip at a minute. This serve course that I'm about to release in the next couple of days, I'm going to break down how to get used to holding the grip with the chopper grip and how to get used to the action of pronation and supination. But in this video, all I want to mention is if you're using a forehand grip and you serve with the forehand grip, you're going to hit a wall eventually. You might get up to a decent level serving with a forehand grip, but there's going to be a time where you want more power, but you also need consistency with the spin, and that's when you're going to have to start changing your grip slowly to a chopper grip. So step number 1 is definitely get the right grip, get the chopper grip. This grip will allow you to hit the ball with pronation and supination, but also allow you to hit spins, different spins with the same grip, and you can also hit a flat serve with this grip. However, most players, if you look at the stats, most players on the tour, men especially, they'll hit a first serve even with a little bit of spin. And you cannot do that with a forehand grip when you're like this. And step number 2 is the ball toss. Master your ball toss. So mastering your ball toss, how do you find a good ball toss? If you look at most of the players, if they're making contact here, they're only throwing the ball a little bit, maybe 6 inches above the contact point. And the reason they don't throw it too high, 2 things happen when you throw the ball high. If I go fast with my left hand, if I'm a right-handed player, if I go quick with this hand and I throw the ball high, my ball toss is going to be erratic. It's going to be moving around all over the place. If I throw the ball slowly, if I toss the ball slowly, I can get a more consistent ball toss time after time after time. And the other thing is, if I throw the ball very high, the ball's coming down at a speed. So I'm trying to hit an object that's coming down at maybe 40 or 50 miles an hour if I throw the ball up high. If I throw the ball just above my contact zone, if I'm going to hit the ball here and I throw the ball just here, the ball's coming down but it's traveling slowly. And the perfect one would be if you could hit the ball while it's at the peak. So if I throw the ball up and I serve just while the ball comes up to here and I serve at that spot, it's almost like a dead ball. The ball's not coming down, the ball's not coming up. So step number 1 to mastering your serve, get the chopper grip. This is the grip that you're going to be able to hit the flat serve, the slice serve and the kick serve with without injuring your body. And master your ball toss. 2 things you can try with a ball toss. Slow down your tossing hand, don't go too quick, and think about placing the ball when you're tossing it up. Don't think about throwing it up, think about placing the ball. And the best way to practice your ball toss, put the ball in the fingertips of your hand instead of holding it in the palm. Place it in the fingertips and work on tiny little ball tosses like this. And master that, and then go out and practice your serve. So step number 2 to mastering your serve is finding a good power position, trophy position. When you see most of the professional players, or any good club level player even, when they get into this back position here, the top of the racket is pointing up to the sky like this, the elbow is bent, and this position is basically like a throwing position. If I told you, take this ball and throw it as far as you can, naturally you'd probably go in this position here and you throw the ball. And that's the same position we want to reach on our serve. However we get there, we can get there with a Federer kind of style where he drops it down, he comes up and he gets into that trophy position like this. Andy Roddick did a different way. Andy Roddick did it like this, very short take back, and Rafael Nadal, he does somewhere in between where he's in this position and he's coming back like this. One thing, however, they all get into this power position at the back. And the easiest way to find this power position, if you put your hands out like this, straight, and you bend your hitting elbow until it's about a 90-degree angle, and the elbow is up at shoulder height, like this. So, arms out, bend the elbow, and you drop the back shoulder. This is your right shoulder if you're a right-handed player. You drop it up, you drop it down, and the left arm comes up like this. That is your power position, and you can work on your serve from that position. You can go on the practice court, take a ball, put your arms like this, bend the elbow, drop the back shoulder, and then toss the ball up and practice serves from this position, because if you get good from this position, the rest of the serve becomes a lot easier to handle. So step number 3 to mastering your serve is getting a good explosive leg drive. Now, explosive leg drive, if I think about the most explosive leg drive I've ever seen, it's probably Andy Roddick. When we used to watch Andy Roddick at Wimbledon, he'll go in that knee bend, and he doesn't take a long time in the knee bend. He was going basically down up, and he was going as fast as he can with the leg drive. The reason the leg drive is so important, there's 2 main reasons. If I'm a player who's 5'2", for instance, I'm hitting my ball down here, and if I have an explosive leg drive, even for a shorter player, I might raise my contact point 6 inches. So if I'm getting 6 inches off the ground with my legs, so if I'm jumping from here up to here, and then I'm reaching up as high as I can, my contact point is higher, which means I have a better margin for error on passing the net. Now if I'm 6 foot and I get 6 inches off the ground, I actually become as big as a player who's 6'3" or 6'4". So the more explosive your leg drive, the higher the contact point. That's the first thing. The second thing is, the more explosive your leg drive, this generates the kinetic chain from the ground up. So the leg drive, you kick off from the ground, this energy comes up through your body, through the core, into the trunk, and then this translates into more racket head speed. More racket head speed at the contact point equals more power. So if I get into a good trophy position here, power position, and I get a good explosive leg drive where I'm thinking about going down and up as quick as possible, that's going to start the chain. From here, the racket drops and the racket's traveling at a fast speed, which is going to give me more power. So step number 3 is definitely work on your leg drive and build the explosive power on your serve from the legs up. And step number 4 to mastering your serve is a thing called supination. Supination is when the palm is basically like this, and pronation is when the palm is basically down to the ground. That's the action you're working on above your head. When we make contact with the ball, the strings are going to be like this. Prior to the contact point, if you watch nearly every single professional player, they're traveling, they're holding the racket with a chopper grip firstly, and they're traveling to the ball with the side of the racket. It's not coming like this, they're traveling like this. This is how they're coming to the ball. The side of the frame is leading the way to the contact point. It's almost like they're going to hit the ball with this, and at the last second the strings open up, and then after the contact it turns outwards. So pronation and supination is this action on the serve. From here, this is supination now, contact point, pronation. The palm and the racket, the side of the racket you've hit the ball with, are turning outwards after you make contact. Now the only way for this to happen is holding the racket with a chopper grip, and you have to break down the serve. You have to work just to feel this action. And step number 5 to mastering your serve, you've made contact with the ball, and a common mistake that you see a lot of players do, they make contact with the ball, and after they hit the ball, their arm comes down like this. almost straight. Now this puts a lot of stress on the elbow and the shoulder, so a lot of people get injured just because they hit the serve and they keep the arm straight. This is a huge stress on the shoulder. As soon as you make contact with the ball up here at the highest spot you can, you're thinking about bending your elbow slightly and coming down with a relaxed arm. So think, make contact, relax. Hit the ball, relax. Relax the arm and finish, if you're a right-handed player, down by your left hip, down by your left pocket, somewhere here. This is a good finishing point. You want to avoid doing this. Down here, relax the elbow, bend it, and then get into that position. And if you follow those 5 steps, just those 5 steps, first step, working on the chopper grip, plus mastering the ball toss. Step number 2, getting into a good power position. Step number 3, using the legs explosively. Step number 4, supination and pronation during the contact point. And step number 5, a good follow through, a good relaxed finish. Just those 5 things should take your serve up 2 or 3 levels. And guys, if you do like this video, please click like below and share your comments with me. I'd like to hear what you have problems with on your serve, what you guys struggle with. I'll try and reply to as many as I can. And if you really like this video, then please share this with all your tennis buddies. So guys, make sure that you check your inbox in the next couple of days for the second video in this 3-part series. And thank you very much for watching the video, and thank you for all the support you've given me on the YouTube and on the website. Once again, thank you very much.